it's Omicron. Falcon hates puns and thinks that they're all wrong. One's American and one is an Aussie. Talking about StarCraft 2 and the esports scene.
Just watch Maynard casting your latest submission.
It was the one you told me to do.
Yes.
So if you have any complaints, take it up with yourself.
Yes. I didn't think you would submit it because I told you to, but I'm glad that you did.
Yeah, well, after I renamed it, submit this one to Maynard, and I couldn't really, I didn't, feel particularly strongly about any of the other games.
Oh, good. Okay, so it was just a combination of luck and that. Yeah, okay, the only one that was suitable for submitting, so.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, so I feel like Florencio did a lot to carry us that game, just with the Phoenix Harass and Void Ray
He sure
Ball
did. I certainly did more than I thought he did in the thing. I just thought they were super passive. Nope, turns out he supply blocked a Zerg from 70 to 20 supply.
Yeah, and that's, man, he's so right. Maynard says it's so dangerous if somebody goes mass Phoenix in a team game. Because they can afford to do it. They don't have to have a ground army. They just can go out there with all the Phoenix in the world and supply block a Zerg into oblivion. Because even if you have 5 or 6 spore crawlers, they're like, whatever. We'll lose a couple Phoenix in exchange for all of your overlords. Yeah.
Yep.
And yeah, that's what he did. It's having been on the receiving end of that, I hate it so much. It's so strong.
Do you want to hear a fun story? Moving on from StarCraft.
Yeah, go ahead.
About what I did this morning?
Yes, I do. By this morning, was it your morning or regular people's morning?
What's the difference?
Well, you get up at 2 in the morning, so...
Oh, okay. I thought you meant you calling me not regular people. I'm I'm a regular person. I'm a human being.
You're on a weird sleep schedule. That's all I'm saying.
No, okay. It was regular people's morning. So
Okay.
8 a.m.
Yeah.
About a week ago, do you remember me telling you, I got this new bike and it has a recall on it. I got to take it in and get the brakes looked at.
Yeah, and I was like, is it going to murder you? And you're like, probably not.
Probably not. I'll keep riding it no matter what.
Yeah.
Anyway, I took it in this morning because they open at 9. I'm like, I take it in earlier. I can just leave, come back for the podcast, then go pick it up. I get there and I'm like, you know what? My dad's work is literally around the corner, walking distance. I walk around, see him. And on the way there, I get a phone call, but I apparently didn't notice because it went to voicemail. And I figured it was just my dad telling me, to come and meet him wherever at his work. Because he works all over the place. And I get there and I'm like, oh, did you send me a voicemail? Because I called him, but he didn't pick up. But that's the only reason I'd call his work phone. I'm like, no. He's like, no, I didn't. And I play it. I'm like, oh, okay. And it's Harley. They're telling me to call them back. I was like, hey, you just dropped off a bike, but we need you to call them back. I'm like, did I forget to give him the keys or something? I don't know.
Wait, so they called your dad?
No, they called me. They called me and left a voicemail. But when I get a voicemail, it doesn't tell me who sent it. It gives a number, but it doesn't have even if that number is associated with a contact, it doesn't say the name, and I don't recognize anyone's numbers.
Well, that's broken. All right. Anyway,
right,
got it.
Yeah, and I thought it was my dad because I called him, but he didn't pick up.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay, I'll listen to it. And they wanted me to call them back, so I did. I'm like, oh yeah. I just dropped off a bike, and they're like, oh yeah, this isn't the right bike. I'm like, it's the only Harley I own.
Yeah.
And no, did you own a Street 500 at any point? I'm like, yeah, 8 months ago. And like, oh, do you still own it? I'm like, no, I got written off. And it's like, oh, the recall was for that bike. We didn't update our system to say you don't have it anymore.
But this is okay. Good job, them.
Yeah. So I got out of my comfy chair at 7:30 or something. Not 7:30, 8:30 in the morning to go for a ride in the chilly winter wind, east towards the rising sun. So I was blind, cold, and then I get there and I'm like, no, you don't. You can just go home. Your bike's fine.
I mean, I guess that's better than your bike is a lost cause for some reason.
Yes, definitely. But I mean, insurance, it's new. If it was a lost cause, I would have gotten a new one anyway.
True, but it would have been more hassle, right? Probably.
Yes. Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, that sucks. That's a total waste of your time. I have a similar story, actually, strangely enough.
You bought a motorbike?
No. So I got a new water heater.
Oh, yeah?
And I got a call from someone who left a voicemail and was like, hey, hope everything's good with your water heater. We might call you later with a survey you can do if you want. And I was like, no. But then somebody called later, and I thought this was the survey call. But this lady was like, we need you to come back in to just sign this one thing to finish up the paperwork. And I was like, that's weird because I feel like I signed stuff already, and why would there be more? Maybe like a post install to like say that everything looks good, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
So
Has
I was
it
like,
since fallen apart? Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So I'm like, all right, so can I come in like Monday morning? And they're like, yeah, that's sure. Not a huge rush on this. So I put it on my calendar and I go in this morning and I'm like, hey, I'm here to sign some additional paperwork related to my install. And they're like, the guy I talked to was like, what? That doesn't sound like something we ever need, but hold on. So he like calls somebody from that department and that person's like, yeah, we don't do that. I don't know why he's here. And I'm like, oh, that's fantastic. I'm glad I drove 15 minutes to come in at 9 a.m. on a morning when I'm off from work so that you can tell me I didn't actually need to come in. Beautiful.
So who called and asked you to come in then?
I don't know. Her name was Emma. Like, I have her name because I wrote it down, and they're like, I don't know.
There's
Somebody
no Emma that
pranked
works
me.
at this company.
I know, right? It was a ghost. Yeah, I honestly don't know what happened. It was the weirdest thing.
That is very strange.
So I checked, like, I just ran it by them one more time. Like, I signed these two things. Is there anything else you need? They're like, no, definitely not. Is everything okay? And I'm like, yeah, the water heater's working great. My boy wanted to, like, test how much hot water was in it. So he, like, ran the shower for an hour and a half and never ran out. So that was good.
That's... Yeah, okay.
Yep.
I mean... Children.
Yeah, for science. We should
Yeah.
know. We should know. I mean, even though it's a 50-gallon water heater, it's the exact same size as our old one. Like, which really shouldn't be any different at all, but, you know.
Yeah. I mean, to find out how much hot water is in it, if you said 50 gallons, you should, like, I imagine even a child would be like, oh, there's that much in there, right? Like, if you told me there's 50 liters, I'd be like, okay, there's 50 liters of hot water. I understand what that means.
Well, but sure, there's a practical aspect to it, too. Like how many people can take a 20-minute shower, like, in a row before it runs out? You know what I mean? Because I have thought about
sure.
this. I'm like, so when I got 3 kids here, when they all want showers in the morning because they're all in middle school and high school, and, like, I take a shower, too. I mean, is that going to be enough where the last person doesn't get any hot water, right? I don't know. I've lived in a house like that before.
I mean, sure, but if it's the same size as the last one, you expect you didn't have any problems with it then. Why would you have problems with it now?
Well, right, we wouldn't. It'd just be for science. It's not necessarily comparing
Right.
to the old one. It's just
Also-
what do we have here?
Do you guys all shower in the morning?
Well, no, not now. Definitely not. We definitely give the kids like baths and showers at nighttime, but there will be a
Okay.
point where everybody will be on the same morning schedule.
Okay, because I like all through going to school, I never showered in the morning. I just did it when I got home from school because I wanted to sleep clean. Like,
Oh, yeah, I get that.
yeah. I mean, also because like, I mean, working the way I do now, it's also way more convenient not to shower at like 11 p.m. and wake people up. So
Yeah.
I've just kept doing that. I'm like, I'm never clean early in the morning except for my days off. On my days off, I got up at 4 o'clock, and by like 6, I was in the shower when after other people had gotten up.
Yeah, gotcha.
And
Okay.
actually, I think that's like at the moment a part of it is just I want warm water. It's cold. I want warm water all over me.
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to not be cold for a little bit.
Yeah, that's the best. Hot showers in the winter are fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then you have to get out and you get sad. So.
Well, I mean, yeah, but you could stay in there a while if you have a 50-gallon water heater.
I don't know how big that one is.
What is the ratio? What is the conversion into non-freedom units?
That is a good question.
Gallons to liters. It's about 3 gallons, about 4 gallons per liter.
Okay.
Wait, hold on. Yeah, 1 gallon is about 4 liters. Exactly. Right. That's it.
Okay, so it's like a 200 liter water tank.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep. Good stuff. Amazing stuff.
I don't know how big the tank is here, so I couldn't tell you.
Nope, totally fine. There's a thing, like a tankless hot water thing.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You've heard of those? Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard of those. Yeah.
Interestingly enough, I've always kind of wanted to get one because I think it sounds cool, but then everyone I've talked to who's actually had one has replaced it with a regular water heater tank within like a year. Like there were always problems with it. It was working, it was great, but something would always break. Like the year that I had it, most of the time it was on the fritz. So I don't know if that's like a flaw with the underlying technology or just that particular brand was garbage, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So fair enough. So guess what I've been watching?
I don't know what.
Stranger Things.
Oh, how is it?
I like Stranger Things. I really do. Season 3 so far has been really good. You worry every time there's a new season of a show that it's going to start to fall off. At least I do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it's been good. It's just season 2 had that whole thing at the end where like Steve ends up being the unofficial babysitter for all the kids. And they continue that on. Let's just say that in season 3, like he's got this like really close, tight relationship with these, middle school kids, and he's in high school. And then everybody else is like, "What the heck are you doing, man?" He's like, "Shut up." Like we almost all died together. We're tight. So that's nice. I'm glad they did that. I'm glad they still have the like upside down creepiness factor going. I was kind of worried they'd move away from that, but they're doing it right. I'm enjoying it. By the time you hear this, I'll probably be done with it, which is nice. It's only 12 episodes. It's one of those 12-hour long episode seasons.
Yeah, I'm already done with it. I haven't even started, so.
Or even 8. I know. You hate popular things, I understand.
I don't hate popular things. That's a gross mischaracterization.
Probably.
I don't know. I tried watching the first one and I was like, oh, it's like set in the past where, things were boring. I don't know.
Oh man, the 80s. So good.
Okay. So I think that was it. Everyone who talked to me about it or I listened to talked about it as being like having a really authentic 80s feel, and like nostalgia really kicked in for them. And I'm like, I don't care about any of that. So I watched it expecting not to care about it and just fell asleep on the first episode and never went back to it. So.
Oh, all right. It's fine. I'm not going to tell you to watch it. I'm saving my make Somicron watch things ticket for different stuff. But it's good. It's good.
Do you think that ticket's valid for anything? Do you really think you can...
There is stuff that will badger you incessantly until you watch. This is not one of them. That's all I'm saying.
Like what? What is one of them?
Last of Us.
That's not a movie. That's not like TV show or movie. That's a game.
It's a thing. Come on.
It's a game. It doesn't count. No. TV show or movie.
I don't know if there's anything on the list right now. I think I forget about One Punch Man. You've watched One Punch Man?
I have not seen season 2 because it's not out in English, but
right.
I have seen One Punch Man, yeah.
Okay. So that's not on the list because you were watching it anyway.
Yeah.
Serenity?
You think I haven't seen Serenity?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't think there's anything on the list. I'm thinking of what would be on the list and then just running through stuff right now.
Yeah, Serenity should definitely be on everyone's list.
Yes. And I love that movie. All right. I think that, like I said, the list is short. I keep it for emergencies. And I just don't think Stranger Things is an emergency. That's all. It's good. It's not like the best thing of all time.
Fair enough.
Yes. I thought so. It is weird, though, to watch it in the summertime. Because the first 2 seasons totally came out like during Halloween. And it was awesome because it was atmospheric, like kind of spooky stuff going on. And it just made sense for the time of year in the United States. But they're like, let's release this one on the 4th of July week. And it's like, but it's sunny outside. I can't get as scared if there's sun all the time outside.
You could watch it at night.
True. Could do. It's still all warm and like the air conditioner is running. It's just a different vibe, that's all.
Sure. Yeah, I can see that. I mean, I definitely think like film studios and stuff plan their releases.
Yeah.
I don't think weather is usually a big one of those things, like determining factors.
No, well, time of year, yeah.
I mean, yeah, time of year, but I don't think at the time of year in relation to the weather. They're not like, well, we want to make sure it goes out when it's cold. I think they were like, we want an October release, not we want a cold release.
Yeah, no, it's fine. I mean, Halloween time is Halloween time. Even if it is like unseasonably warm, it's still Halloween time, atmospherically.
Well, yeah, but if your point was that it was better because of, you didn't have like the air conditioning running, then the weather is what important about Halloween, because you wouldn't have the aircon or whatever.
It's a good point. It would be different if it came out on Halloween and the air conditioning was running. It's a fair argument.
Yeah.
Well pointed out. So yeah, that's been good. Man, what else? One Punch Man season 2 ended. And it was so funny. So I know how my little brother's way into it now. He watched season 2 live as they came out. And the other day he was like, "Man, that last episode was so good." And I talked to him about it. And through the conversation, I was just like, "Hey, man, I really hope we don't have to wait very long for the next season." He's like, "Wait, what? Next season? This is only like episode 10. I'm like, "Yeah." That's how a lot of TV is these days, little brother. Especially ones related to manga, so.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of gotten bored of the animes I was watching, so I haven't been able to pick up anything good. I did the Microsoft Store, because everything's on the Microsoft Store. It's currently anime month, and so there's sales and discounts for buying anime.
Cool. Yep.
I picked up the most recent Dragon Ball Z movie, well, Dragon Ball Super, the movie. It's a retelling of the Broly story. If anyone knows Broly from Dragon Ball Z. And I swear to God, it is the most boring movie I have watched in a while.
More or less boring than Stranger Things?
More, because I remember liking Dragon Ball Z, and this was bad. So, it just that compounds it.
It had a higher bar to clear, and it failed miserably.
Yes.
Yeah, Dragon Ball Z is it's one of my super blind spots in pop culture. I know nothing about Dragon Ball Z at all. I just have no patience. No, I have no patience for anything that has 3,000 episodes. I don't have time for that. I'm sorry. It could be the best thing ever. I don't have time for it, and I never ever will.
You could watch it with your kids.
No, nope. They might have time for it. I don't have time for it. I got a channel to run, man.
714. There's 16 movies on the Microsoft Store you could buy. There's 7 seasons of Dragon Ball Super, plus I think 9 seasons of Dragon Ball Z you could watch.
And how many episodes per season?
60, I think.
Oh my gosh!
I'm kidding.
What is the
I think
math?
it's 24. I think it's 24. I think it's 24. Let me find it.
24 is reasonable. Are you sure it's reasonable?
Yeah. Oh. Also, Microsoft, please update to your search parameters to include Dragon Ball Z under anime.
Yes, please.
For some reason, it's under animation. There's 9 seasons.
I mean, it's not animated. I don't know what we're complaining about here.
Anime and animation are 2 different subgenres of film.
Yeah, both animated. So.
Oh, okay. 39 episodes per season.
Okay, let's do the math. Let's do the addition.
390 minus 38, or 39, so 351.
Woo, 350. It's a lot of episodes of TV. Plus
times
movies.
24 minutes.
Yeah.
Per episode to work out the time. So give me a second. I actually need my calculator for that one. That's 8,400 minutes. Divided by 60 gives you the hours. It's 140 hours. Divided by 24. 5.8 days of viewing.
Yeah, no. Nope. 5.8 days if you never sleep.
And that's yeah. And that's Dragon Ball Z. There's still Dragon Ball and then Dragon Ball Super as well.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's exactly my concern about getting sucked into the Dragon Ball hole, is that there's so much garbage. So much of it. I mean, it's not fair to call it garbage, but there's so much.
There's a lot of garbage, which is why there's actually another version of Dragon Ball Z called Dragon Ball Kai, or Z Kai, I think.
All right.
And it's essentially Dragon Ball Z, but without all the bullshit. They cut all of it out. Damn. And it breaks it down from one season is nearly 40 episodes to 12.
They get rid of all the powering up.
Yeah, the 4 episode. Yeah.
See, that is the most like lingering impression I have about Dragon Ball Z is the for 49 episodes in a row. It's like, look, guys, we get it. You're powering up.
Well, here's the thing. The powering up used to make sense because you needed to power up for big attacks and like get that one critical hit on the bad guys. Now what Dragon Ball Z is, or Dragon Ball is transformations. So it was like this massive thing when Goku went Super Saiyan because it was like this legendary thing that nobody's ever seen. Oh my god, this is why Frieza destroyed the whole planet because he was afraid of something like this. And now, in the Dragon Ball Z movie I just watched, Broly, Goku literally goes from Super Saiyan to Super Saiyan 2 to Super Saiyan red hair to Super Saiyan blue hair, and the guy that isn't Super Saiyan, Broly, is still keeping up with him. It's like, what exactly is the power conversion here, where he can come into a title that is Super Saiyan Legendary Super Saiyan God, and still keep up with this guy? Like, the other guy's fine. It's like, oh, it's Broly. Yeah, I get it. It's Broly. He's very powerful. But what is the point of Goku's hair changes if it's not a massive increase in power?
I don't know, man. I hate TV shows that have a system of power and just have no rules associated with it, or don't follow their own rules. I don't know. They don't know what it is, so there's nothing to figure out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's even more annoying because there's actually Super Saiyan 3, but Goku skips it in favor of going to Super Saiyan God.
Ah, yes, of course, as you do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He actually demonstrates it in one of the other movies, which weren't as bad. Still kind of Yeah. But basically, like, a god comes down and he's like, I wish to try and fight you. And he goes Super Saiyan 3, and it's where his hair goes from, like, spiky to all down his back. And he's like, I normally don't use this. It uses too much power.
He's a Stegosaurus.
Pretty much. And it's like, oh my god, I wish this meant something, but it doesn't.
It doesn't. It's power creep, man. Power creep ruins story.
Mm-hmm.
Got to be very careful with it.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what we're supposed to talk about in this episode? I
Spider-Man.
remembered. Yes. Yes, indeed we were. We still have time.
Yeah, we still have loads of time.
Excellent. I don't know, man. Sometimes we get to talking about movies and it goes like long. So that's a thing that's happened. That was more of an Avengers film, which I guess technically this is an Avengers film because Spider-Man's an Avenger, but So, overall impressions, did you enjoy Spider-Man Far From Home?
2 thumbs up.
Two thumbs up. Yes, me too. I had a lot of fun with it.
Any complaints?
I don't like the shapeshifter guys.
The Skrulls.
The Skrulls. It's not that I don't like them. I think especially the main dude. He's funny. He's a fun character. Talos. Yep. Good thing you're here. I like him, but just anytime that you have Mission Impossible style indistinguishable masks and anybody can be anybody, it just ruins the whole stupid universe. Anytime you look now, if I look at anybody from this point, I'll be like, is that a Skrull? Like, is this actually Nick Fury? Is this actually Peter Parker? Is this actually, you know what I mean? It sucks.
I mean, kind of, but I mean, Mysterio was entirely capable of that the entire movie. He could easily have just put on a different kind of CG suit. You don't need Skrulls to shapeshift to do it. Like, the shapeshifter even makes a joke about it. He's like, it's embarrassing as a shapeshifter that I couldn't tell he was shifting, right? That he wasn't real.
Oh, that Mysterio wasn't real. Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
So I don't think the Skrulls are a huge problem because even if they
it's
are
already a
who they
huge
say-
problem.
Well,
Is that what you're telling me?
Sure. Why not? I just don't think it matters. Like,
Okay. I'm just saying it bothers me every time.
okay, it bothers you, but I mean, this is literally the first time in like 25 films that it's ever come up as an issue.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Captain Marvel had it too, right?
Right, but it was kind of a plot point there. This was like the post-credit scene.
Yeah.
it came
This
up.
was just like, hey, guess what? The Nick Fury you thought was Nick Fury? Not actually Nick Fury. Ha ha ha. It's
Right,
like,
but there was also some stuff that happened in the movie that like hints at it as well.
hints at him being not Nick Fury?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so after Nick Fury tranks Ned and they go to like Venice Underground, right?
Yeah.
And he meets Beck. Nick Fury describes Quentin Beck as he's from Earth, but not your Earth.
Yeah.
Right? Instead of not our Earth, it's yours because he's not from Earth.
Oh. I mean,
Right?
I don't. Sure. I mean, that's a slight nod, but that absolutely could be interpreted to just mean, I'm talking to you. It's your experience that matters here, not mine. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it could, but I don't think...
Because I caught that. I figured that I knew that he said that, and I recognized he said that instead of our Earth, but it did not make me suspicious at all.
Right. But literally the same scene, Spider-Man goes, oh, what about like Doctor Strange or Thor or Captain Marvel? And he goes, don't invoke her name with me.
Yeah.
He clearly gets annoyed at the name of Captain Marvel.
Or, again, how I interpreted that is to mean that Fury, like, really respects her a lot and borderline worships her as the first hero that he ever found, right? And she's incredibly strong.
No, because I like, he would, like, if he was like, I'm, like, this is clearly the best hero ever, he would have been calling her in for, like, Avengers 1. Right.
Yeah. Basically, yes. We almost had New York City
if
wipe
Nick
off
Fury,
the face of the earth.
Yeah, if Nick Fury had a problem, he would have, like, that he didn't think the other Avengers could handle, he would have been calling her back.
Yeah. And that's the problem with the whole MCU. Is like, you had her in your back pocket the whole time? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But, I mean, Nick Fury didn't need her. So he just trusted the team. Yeah.
And honestly, didn't really need her all that much in Endgame either. Like, she didn't do a whole ton. Anyway.
I mean...
She wiped out Thanos' big old chip. That was awesome. That was really helpful. That was great. I take it back. That was really necessary.
The problem is when Nick calls her is in the past and she doesn't get there in time is the issue. All right, for her to make an actual difference in like Endgame and Infinity War, she doesn't actually get there in time because she actually gets called after the snap, right? So she doesn't seem useful, and then when she gets there, the best thing she can do is revenge, and then they do that, and then they kind of go away, right?
Yeah, that's a fair point. Like, she's very useful, but she's 400 light years away, and it takes her some time to get there. So like.
Yes.
These whole world-threatening events don't usually take that long to get moving. It's like it shows up and it's here.
Yeah.
And then you call Captain Marvel and she gets here after it's over. Maybe they did that a couple times. Maybe Fury totally did that 2 or 3 times back in the 90s and she was like, I keep getting here too late. Just like, look, man. You have to factor in like a 90-day waiting period for me to actually show up at Earth. So next time, keep that in mind.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. Because it's a pager. It's not like he can call her and say, hey, everything's cool, like head back to where you were, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, true fact.
If only they had a way to do two-way communication.
Well, you see that at the post-credit scene in this. The Talos calls Nick Fury with the phone. Two-way communication. They finally upgraded. Like,
yes.
Nick Fury can now contact people in space with a cell phone.
Yeah. But, I mean, in orbit, right? Was he elsewhere?
I don't think he was in orbit of Earth. I think he was elsewhere.
I really get the impression Nick Fury cares about protecting Earth and everybody else can, like, choke on it. He doesn't care.
Well, here's the they said he was on a mission. Like, you know you're on a mission, but you got to come back. Right? I don't think he goes up to just, like, the ISS for a vacation. Like, if he wanted to sit in the sand and look out at the waves, right, he could do that on Earth. I don't think he'd be there, like, doing that in orbit. He's somewhere.
Sure, but I don't know that he'd like to be on an actual beach. There's too many people there. And there's probably children around. He doesn't like children.
He can get a private beach. This is Nick Fury. Second, with the amount of drones that came out of the Stark Industries satellites, there's no way Nick Fury in orbit wouldn't have noticed that.
That's a good point. I was thinking about that. Because I thought he was in orbit of Earth. But then I'm like, why didn't he intervene when all of a sudden 800 death drones came out of that satellite at once?
Yeah.
Yeah, fair point. Anyway, back to the Spider-Mans. So, all right. So there are a couple things. I like to do this. I like to watch the trailers for stuff after I've already seen it, especially if I have the thing. Anyway. So, interestingly enough, the scene where Spider-Man is at the charity event with his Aunt May, he's wearing the Iron Spider suit in the final version of the movie. But they initially shot it with him just wearing the regular, like, fabric suit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then at some point it was decided that he should be wearing the Iron Spider suit instead, which I thought was weird.
Is
like
it possible that trailer came out before Infinity War? I don't know. That would be strange.
No,
That seems way too long ago.
Not before Infinity War, no.
No.
So they're trying to hide it.
Yeah. Or,
Yeah.
I don't know. They're trying to hide the idea that he still has the Iron Man suit. I don't know.
Maybe.
Depends on when it comes out. But that is weird that they would switch from just... Because I don't think the suit in that scene matters. Like, the only advantage...
I get what you're saying.
Really?
Like, he doesn't need the capabilities of the Iron Spider suit, right?
Not in that particular moment, no.
No. But it's weird to me because he's in New York. These are New York City people who know Spider-Man as their hero, right? This isn't Thor.
Yeah.
This isn't Hulk. This is Spider-Man. He's theirs. And he's wearing a different suit than he normally is. Why? Like, why would you do that to the people who know you as regular Spider-Man, you know? It's weird.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is a little weird. Especially, I think maybe it's like... he's they're trying to reinforce his connection with Iron Man in that scene, because that's what they're all asking him about. Like, are you going to be the next Iron Man? And he's wearing an iron suit.
Yeah.
I think that's what they're going for, but it is a little strange that he's at a neighborhood thing and he's not wearing his neighborhood suit.
Yeah. It just felt off to me. The whole time he was wearing it, I was like, is he here to murder people? Why is he wearing the Iron Spider suit? It's like an assassination suit that impales enemies on the ends of iron, like, spikes, man. That's what it does. There's also that scene from the trailer where he takes out the dudes in the restaurant and the cops show up.
Entirely
not in the final movie. Yeah, very weird.
Yeah. A bit weird, but also it would have been really unnecessary. Like, I think
it's
it was
like we
fun
know
for
who
the trailer,
Spider-Man
but
is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, there's just some stuff they changed, which is fine. MCU, they like doing that stuff. They like changing stuff from the trailer to the end movie. What other things? Go ahead.
Did you know who Mysterio was before this?
Yeah, because I watched there was a Spider-Man on Fox back when I was a kid after school.
Okay.
Watch a bunch of those. Mysterio sucks, man. He is not a good hero. Or not a good supervillain, rather. Not a good hero either.
No, he's definitely not a good hero. I think he's a perfectly fine and capable hero in this movie.
Yeah.
But I've definitely seen some like stuff where he's just like kind of bland and like
He's
boring.
basically like a street magician in a lot of the comics iterations, and it's like, why does he even exist? This was good. He was threatening. He was dangerous, right?
Mm-hmm.
That whole scene where he's got Parker in the office building and he's just screwing with him, that was fantastic. That was really good. Really well done.
Yeah, that is my favorite visual scene from that entire movie.
Yeah.
Just so cool.
And then he backs him into a train. So that was cool.
Yeah. Yeah. But it is a kind of like, why is he taking the time to mess with Spider-Man here? Is it just so he buys it that he's Nick Fury when he asks for who else has information? I don't know.
I mean, are villains capable of not screwing with the hero?
I'm sure.
I mean, name a supervillain that
be-
is capable of just removing the hero instead of gloating about it or playing with them like their food, you know?
Thanos.
I
Thanos
guess.
kind of went up to Vision and was like, that's my stone. Bonk.
True, but he monologues while he does his stuff. He's not exactly point A to point B.
No, okay. I think it's a little unfair. Thanos is a bit more of a character than most villains are.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm just saying,
don't know.
supervillains have the impulse to take their time with anything to do with killing the hero or getting rid of them.
Yeah, and I guess like the theatrics are very important with this guy.
Yeah. The
So
visuals.
yeah, and I mean it got Spider-Man to get hit by a train, so I think he figured he was okay.
At the end of the movie, my boy was like, "So what are Spider-Man's powers? Like, he's strong and like he's kind of fast, I guess, but he's just got web shooters. And like he can also get hit by a train and not die." And he's like, "Yeah, that's fair. That's pretty good."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's just resistance. Like he gets hit by the train, but he more like pushes off it and then hangs on.
I know,
really
but like literally any normal human gets flattened by the train and just dies, right?
Yeah.
But that's it. Every hero has a base level of like toughness to them, where they can take a serious beating and not die. It's just baseline. Like even in One
Yeah.
Punch Man, there's a child emperor who literally looks like an 8-year-old boy, and his power is just he's really smart and he uses technology and stuff to defeat enemies. But at the same time, he also has a baseline level of can get punched in the face by a monster and not die. So
Right.
yeah, it's just they all have it basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, but back to the Nick Fury thing where he's like, "Who else did you tell?" I'm like, that is the biggest red flag in the history of movies and television. If anybody ever asks you who else knows about this, they're bad and they're involved and they want to know who else knows about this so they can kill them. And the fact that Parker's just like, "Oh, sure, let me just tell you everybody else." It's like, come on, man. Be smart. I guess you're 16, but seriously, you've seen movies. You've talked about seeing aliens.
I don't know. I feel like in that scene, it's totally like understandable. Spider-Man would think that that's actually Nick Fury.
Yeah, no, I'm
Like
for sure. I get that, but you've just run into somebody who has the ability to create illusions, and you
Yeah,
can't
and he
be,
thinks he just got out of it.
and you can't be quite sure that anybody you see from this point on is an illusion or not. And
Right.
if somebody asks who else knows about this, that's where you go nuts about it. And you're like, let me think about this a little bit.
I mean, maybe. I mean, sure, but I think that without him like messing up there, it really doesn't sell his paranoia later in the film about whether or not that's actually happy.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
which gives us the great joke.
The backstory.
Yeah. The adult film that Spider-Man watched in Berlin.
That was so good. Happy was good in this movie. He was great.
How Happy was amazing.
I love the scene where Peter sits the both of them down. He's like, "All right, what's going on? Are you dating?" And Happy's like, "Yes."
Yeah.
She's like,
He's
"Ah."
like, no.
So good. Anyway, it's great. Good funny things in these movies. I like the Spider-Man ones. I
So,
was a little bit annoyed that we jumped right into Peter Parker's in love with Mary Jane now. It's like, hang on. Last time we checked, she was weird. And he was really put off by her. Where on earth
he
did
was
this
in love with
change?
this other woman.
Yeah, and she was cool. There's nothing wrong with her except that her dad was the Vulture.
And she like moved upstate or something.
That's true. But like even then, like how I'd like to know like what on earth she did to or why he loves her so much. It's very strange. It came out of left field, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, we need like another movie that takes place in that 8 months. So.
Or like a 20-minute episode of something. Like I don't know. It's strange. What I think happened was the writers said, "We don't know how to do this. We really established the fact that she's a weirdo, and he doesn't know what to make of her. But we'd like her to be the love interest. So how do we get there?" Like, I don't know. Let's just skip to that point. Okay, done. I'm just saying, why did he latch on to weirdo? Is what I'm saying.
Because she's not weird. She's just a little bit different. She's still cool.
She's more cool in this movie than she is in the first one. Maybe she's. I don't know.
Only because she has a bigger role. Because she's not competing for love interest.
I guess that's fair. I don't know. I'd have to go back and watch Homecoming and decide if she's significantly different, because I feel like she is.
Well, I mean, of course she is, because in like the big reveal in Homecoming is that's MJ.
yes.
Right?
Yeah, and
like
nobody
the-
sees it coming because of what? Yeah.
Yeah, because MJ's never been like pathological truth teller.
Nope.
Yeah.
No, she's like dating the quarterback, MJ. Yeah,
Yeah.
she always was. All right. Anyway, I thought she was great. The actress who plays her just simply goes by Zendaya, which, okay. There aren't many people that can get credited in a film just with one name. Is all I'm saying.
I think there's plenty of people that go by they're called like monoisms or something.
Yeah, something like that. Mononyms or
One name, one word names is what I should. Google.
mononymous. Yeah, a person who is addressed by a single name or mononym.
Right. There's probably a plenty of people with them.
Show me the list. Oh, there's a big list. There's a gallery, actually. There's actually not that many people in this gallery. Here, I'll link it to you.
Is it the one? Yeah, I've got it.
Yeah. So, I mean, a lot of these are like philosophers and artists from the Renaissance and stuff, and ancient Greeks like Homer.
Right.
Cleopatra. So let's see modern people. Yep, there's Zendaya. Omarosa, Eminem.
Adele, Rihanna, Beyonce, Usher.
Brandy, Bjork, Madonna, Prince, Sting. So, I mean, we're going back 70 years, and there are 12 people who've ever pulled this off. That's amazing.
That's 12 people who speak English who pulled this off. I guarantee you that there are more people than that because, just as a fun fact, I found there's a Korean K-pop group called Twice, and there's 9 girls in it who all have mono names.
Okay.
They all go by it. Like, because Eminem's name is Marshall Mathers.
Yeah.
But but he goes by Eminem. So there's lots of people that do. I do it. I'm Summercron. One name.
No, I get it. No, Zendaya has a full name too. I'm just saying to be able to be credited in a major motion picture as your one name is not something that you see very often. And look,
You don't see it
this
very often
includes
because a lot of people from Hollywood don't do that, right? Like, if more people from Hollywood do it, I think it's very easy to have it done. Just people just don't do it.
This list does include like non-English speaking people. Like Pele is on this. A bunch of people I don't recognize. I don't know these names, so I think I don't know.
It also has a list of people with one-word stage names, which is significantly bigger.
What? Somebody's stage name is Alan? You can't just have Alan. These are regular names. Charlene. What? Dave? Who got the name Dave?
Whoever is on there under Dave.
I guess.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. Maybe it's not as weird as I thought. Just thought it was weird, that's all.
Yep.
Because we watched the credits because we were waiting for the mid-credit scene and the end-credit scene because you know how they do.
Yeah, because you have to.
Yeah.
Do you know what I hate? I hate it when, like, the movie, like, people who run the theater come on, like, they're standing down there waiting for everyone to leave. I'm like, stop looking at me while I'm watching the credits. Could you please stop that? Makes me really uncomfortable, and they're just standing there like, do you guys maybe want to leave now? Skip the credit scene? I don't know.
Yeah, that sounds terrible. They sure don't do that at my theater.
I mean, they don't ask. They just look and imply. You know,
all right.
Strange and annoying.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
they also like were like, in Endgame they were like, there is no post-credit scene. You can just go. So some people got up and left, and I was like, no, I want to hear that hammer.
Yeah. Want to hear the dink, dink, dink. It's, yeah.
Yep.
Anyway.
No bueno.
No bueno for sure. Let's see what else. Oh! I loved the part too where Parker's like, I can't be Spider-Man here, especially after Washington D.C. If I'm Spider-Man, where my high school class is again in Europe, people are gonna figure this out. And I'm like, that is a fair point, Peter Parker. Well done. And then their answer is, we're gonna make you an all-black suit. And you're still going to use your webs, and nobody will know it's you. No siree. And I was like, come on.
Yep.
And Peter's like,
one's gonna put two and two together.
You're absolutely correct. Right, you are. This will totally work. And then it totally doesn't work.
The first person he runs into is like, is that Spider-Man?
Yes! Because who else swings around with webs and is about that size?
Night Monkey.
Night Monkey. Anyway, that was annoying.
Yeah, just real quick. I think my housemate's having some guy come around and like wash his bike or something. So I think he just turned up and I gotta like let him in around the back. So it might be 2 minutes. Entertain the people without me.
Oh man, there's so much pressure. What? Oh, okay. There's a post-credits scene in the Spider-Man. I would say spoilers, but we've already spoiled the whole movie, I think, already at this point. But yeah, I did think it was interesting talking about what we just talked about now with secret identity being ruined and stuff. Was that he's so worried about losing his secret identity and having that spoiled for the whole world, and then instantly he loses it, like in the end credits, 10 minutes later or so. that was something to maybe not worry about. But yeah, I mean, honestly, this should happen more often. I feel like supervillains become privy to the secret identities of heroes more often than the average person anyway. And I just feel like this should happen more often with people where the villain is defeated, but like his last stroke against the hero is to just ruin his secret identity.
Okay. So I had totally heard a car pull into the driveway. There was no car, so now I feel stupid.
Whoa, you're hallucinating sounds.
Sure am. But it also probably has something to do with the fact that about half an hour ago, my mate sent me a text message being like, "Oh yeah, that guy said he'd be there in 20 minutes."
Ah,
And so I'm looking out. I'm looking for sounds.
gotcha.
Yeah. Also, but were you talking about the post-credit scene?
Yep.
Okay. I mean, I wanted something for the post-credits. I figured we'd probably talk about that post-credit scene.
Oh, I thought you said that as you were leaving. I thought you wanted me to talk about
No.
the post-credit scene.
No, I said give me something to use as the post-credit scene.
Oh, that didn't work at all. I just explained that it was kind of interesting that Parker's so worried about losing his secret identity, and then 10 minutes after everything's all resolved, he loses his secret identity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really enjoyed that. Yeah.
Me too. Also, J. Jonah Jameson being back is pretty good.
It's pretty good. Yeah. But the Daily Bugle is a website apparently, like a Alex Jones-esque
Yeah,
thing.
it totally is. So that does make me wonder how much the general populace is going to believe it. But man, is it going to put a lot of attention on Peter anyway, regardless.
Yeah.
Right? Like, even if people don't believe it, they're going to be watching him super closely anyway. It might be hard for him to do the Spider-Man thing, even if it doesn't generally become considered true.
I mean, I think you can use Edith at this point to just be like, delete all versions of that from the internet. I think Edith could do that.
Yeah, but it's out. Like,
Yeah,
the theory
but once
exists. Enough people saw that live that you can't just disappear it. And if it starts
Yeah.
disappearing and it starts being... It's the Barbra Streisand effect. Right?
Okay, no, okay. I think Edith could take down the Daily Bugle, at least. And just be like, it goes away. Right?
See, but even that, like, trying to suppress something can often backfire and just make it more interesting to people at large.
Maybe.
Because they're like, ooh, why is it
Well,
worth
okay.
suppressing? Why is the dailybugle.net down now after saying this, you know?
Okay, how about this? Instead, he uses Edith to fake a retraction video and an apology from J. Jonah Jameson and saying that he has maliciously spread false information.
I know, but he won't. He's crazy. Jameson's an insane person.
Yeah, right. That's why he uses Edith to just hack the site and do it. Like, it
Oh.
makes like a CG J. Jonah Jameson.
So fight fire with fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess the other part of that is that Spider-Man is directly accused of murdering this guy, so that's bad.
Yeah.
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 It's a good point. I don't know. I guess we'll have to see. Also,
Spider-Man.
I was
Home cuffs.
something like that. Also, I was kind of annoyed that I'm like, oh shit, okay, so Spider-Man can swing down from the skyscrapers with this girl around him and drop her on the sidewalk, and everybody's just like, hey, I'm walking here, and just keep walking, right? But then I said,
Well, Spider-Man's been-
New Yorkers have seen a billion things. They don't care.
Yeah, I mean, also Spider-Man might, like, you know, catch someone that fell out of a building or was being robbed and swing away with them. Seeing him put down a random stranger might not be a uncommon experience. Right? Like, it might not be special, right? Like, because we're like, oh, it's MJ, he's taking her on a date, swinging around the city. Wouldn't people just be like, hey, who are you and how do you know Spider-Man? And it's like, well, lots
Yeah.
of people have seen Spider-Man put down people.
Oh, so maybe they just assumed she was like falling off of a balcony or something and he saved her?
Yeah, or being robbed or something, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I like that. That's a good theory. Because I was thinking, like, if they know that she's connected to him in some way, then she's in danger, right? Because a lot of people want
yeah.
Spider-Man dead. So
Mm-hmm.
if they think that she is a weak spot, then bad times.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think Mysterio's actually dead?
Boy, that's the thing. When you introduce the unreliable, just the unreliable narration of the thing where you saw this happen, but did it really? Sure, anything's possible, you know?
I mean, here's the thing. Because Peter Parker asked, "Is this real?" And
Yeah.
Edith goes, "All the illusions are down; they're all off."
Yeah.
But that doesn't and he's really laying there, and he might
But,
have
like,
really
he
been
didn't check
shot.
his
But that doesn't
pulse.
mean he didn't. Maybe he didn't really die.
Right. Maybe he's unconscious.
Maybe now would be the time for a double tap, Spidey.
Yes, with the gun that you carry.
Well, he had a gun. Just pick it up.
No, I don't think so. I don't think Spider-Man gets to shoot people ever. It's kind of a thing of his.
I don't know. You could always mix it up. I don't mind. I mean, imagine if he had accidentally hit someone with his electric web and electrocuted them.
Sure, on accident.
Right, but no. But my point is, he carries lethal force.
No, his body is a lethal weapon. He can punch people through walls. Of course, he can kill people if he wants to.
Right.
So he could have just smashed Jake Gyllenhaal's head into this concrete.
Yeah, just stepped on him a bunch of times. I don't care what he did. Thrown him in the lake.
Yeah, aren't they high up? Can he just knock him
Yeah.
off the edge?
They were on a bridge of some sort. Yeah, just throw him through the floor.
Rolls him out the window.
I mean, I wonder what happened to all the drones. So they just go back up to the spaceship, just put him
Yeah.
on a drone, be like, hold on to this, and have 3 or 4 of them lift him into space where he gets sucked into a vacuum.
Gets murderized.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, not a Spider-Man thing. I don't think they can do that.
I don't know. Apparently the universe is going to believe it, though, that he really killed the greatest hero that ever was or will be, according to J. Jonah Jameson.
Of course they will. That's how this works. That is another Spider-Man thing. People believe J. Jonah Jameson. Well, some people do anyway.
Some people.
Yeah.
People. Yeah.
Not all people. How did you feel about the man, I do not know the names of any of the characters. His best friend.
Betty and Ned.
Thank you. Betty and Ned's European whirlwind romance.
I thought it was funny. Okay, there really was a knock on the door.
Oh, good.
This time you can make a post-credit scene.
Okay. And Somicron is back.
Man, were you talking the entire time? Because I was going for way longer than I thought I would be.
Heck yeah. You will be in for a treat when you listen to it later.
All right. I'm very excited.
Good. Should be.
Yep.
Yep. So anyway, back to the relationship. Ned and Betty. I didn't care. I don't know. It was funny at parts, but I didn't care.
Yeah, no, you're not supposed to care about it.
Oh, good. All
That's
right.
why they break up at the end.
Yeah.
You don't have to care about it.
Excellent. Also,
Yeah.
I don't know that I care about Ned all that much. I understand he's Peter's best friend, but so? I don't know, man.
I mean, you don't have to care about him. That is his part in the movie.
Excellent. Well played.
Yeah. Did you like the teachers?
Yes. Yes, I did.
Yeah. I thought they were pretty funny.
I did. I liked on the plane the one teacher who's where was it on the plane? It was sometime. He's like, I'd like to offer counseling, mental health
in
counseling to
Venice.
everybody. I don't have any training in this at all, but I'm willing to try. And it's like, well, you're honest about it at least.
Yeah. I really liked that. That was funny.
Yeah. And then the other teacher who's just witches. Everything's witches. It's like, look, man, you're not wrong. Magic exists now. Congratulations. You're on top of it.
As a man of science, it's witches.
Yes. Everything's
Yeah.
witches. Yeah. So, all right.
good.
One thing we haven't talked about is how Peter has all these expectations on him to be the next Iron Man.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean? I found myself wondering that.
So Iron Man, I think, was the face of the Avengers,
Okay.
right.
Fair.
and the Avengers were the human task force, the anti-threat thing that people kind of looked up to as oh, we have this thing that should there ever be a problem arise, we have these are our oh fuck buddy, these guys are gonna respond, and
we hope.
Iron Man being and they assume that that's now Peter's responsibility to respond.
Ah. Okay.
Yeah.
Poor kid.
He's their security blanket. Yeah.
Man, that scene where he's like, I didn't think I'd have to save the world this summer. And I was like, oh, you poor thing. I understand. That's a lot of pressure, dude.
Yeah. I think that's one of the, Jake Gyllenhaal does a really good job for turning a boring character into really interesting.
Yeah.
Where he's consoling Peter Parker and stuff. It's like really good.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed
super
their
great.
dynamic up until he's like evil.
Yeah, he turns evil, and then he goes on like a 20-minute monologue about all the backstory they didn't give us, and it's like, look, guys, this is really bad. You got to show, not tell. I understand you're trying. You're making an effort to make it not seem like he's monologuing by putting it into this like celebratory party thing that they're having, but he's literally just monologuing about all this stuff, and it was not great. It was not really well done.
No, it was fine. It was fine.
Yeah, I found
Because
myself.
it was all flashback. It was flashbacks to how these people know each other.
Yeah,
And why they're bad.
Yeah.
And how they have this tech.
yeah, and it was clever to bring actors in from previous MCU movies.
And tie them into, like, Boff and all that.
Yeah, so
I mean, it is kind of like old school Mysterio to be like, someone called his tech Boff, and now he's really mad at the world.
well, there's that.
It's that,
but I
it's
thought
that
it
level
was,
of silly.
I thought it was more that Stark misused it. He basically, there's all this potential for this tech, and Stark just basically turned it into his own personal therapy machine. Right?
Well,
I thought he was
yeah,
more mad
I mean,
about that.
I think he's mad that it didn't get implemented in other ways. I think
Yeah.
had he not been like crazy and unstable, he would have been totally fine with that implementation. But it was because it was limited to it, not
Yes.
because it did it.
Correct. Limited to something that sucks, in his opinion.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, think about it. If somebody had told Steve Jobs that we're going to name the iPhone, shit phone instead of iPhone, yeah, I think he would have been a little upset.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean, that alone is not really a reason to become a supervillain. I don't think.
It's not, but when you're like, I don't know, something's wrong. You got like more than a couple screws loose.
Yeah, that's true. He was a little screw loose before all that anyway. And, like, I understand that Peter was desperate to find somebody else to shove this responsibility onto, but like, he's known Jake for about 10 minutes.
But
so like,
in those 10 minutes, he's seen him save multiple cities. He thinks
Yeah.
this is another guy who's always going to step in when the world needs him, right?
yeah,
Because he's really only met a couple of really great heroes at the moment, right?
define meat.
Like, he's on a first-name basis with Iron Man and Doctor Strange, right? Like, he's met and spent time with them outside of combat, right?
Yeah, you'd think he spent
Had a
some,
conversation with.
well, you think he spent some time with Professor Hulk. I think they'd be friends, right? A little bit.
No.
No, but they both have a love for science.
But he was dead. Spider-Man was dead when Professor Hulk came out, and then
Yeah.
it was like the end of the movie when he came back.
Yeah,
And they didn't talk. Like they did, but they never showed it. Them having like.
Well, sure.
Think about it. Hulk and Spider-Man have never shared a scene.
Unless you count the end battle at Endgame.
Well, I don't.
Okay,
That's not them. It's them and everyone else.
because like he trades words with Captain Marvel.
Yeah, I'll define it as has a conversation with, as in like they're the only two people in the moment, like on
Yes.
frame.
Very true. Very true.
Yeah, yeah.
He needs to have those relationships. Like, they need to hang out sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
If he's an Avenger, he needs
Yeah.
to feel like he knows these people on some level.
Yep.
Okay, that's all.
He should have.
They're not doing
Yep,
this very
I
well.
totally agree. No, I don't know. I think it's tricky at the moment because obviously they want to give Spider-Man that like I want to save the world, but I also want to be like a normal dude,
Yes,
right? Which is a great feel and theme to go for Spider-Man.
totally.
But the way where the MCU is at the moment, it's very much like we need to have lots of heroes in every movie at the moment, just for things to make sense. Like teams need to work together, so
Yep.
you need to have whoever's left working together to foster that kind of team dynamic. But you can't really just keep doing Avengers movie after Avengers movie,
Yeah.
because then you're not really having a Spider-Man movie.
Those are expensive, too. You gotta have a lot of
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was just thinking maybe a scene like they had in Endgame where Black Widow's at home base and everybody's reporting in. Like, just have one of those where Parker just reports on New York City and how things are going, right? Like, he just has a little roundtable meeting every week for 10 minutes. It doesn't have to take up much screen time in this movie at all, but it would give us the sense that he's connected.
Right. I think maybe the problem with that is he was already doing that with Happy to report back to Stark. And so you could still have him do it, but where Happy now fits in like the Avengers Shield structure doesn't make sense. Right? Like that's not explained at all. Like
No.
where he fits in that.
Totally not.
Yeah.
The other thing I'm a little bit annoyed about here for the Spider-Man movie is it's post-snap.
Mm-hmm.
And they pay a little bit of lip service to it in the first 10 minutes. We're like, okay, well, now these kids that were in 6th grade are now with us in our grade, and it's weird. And I came home and I reappeared and somebody had rented out my apartment because duh. And it's like, okay, but at the same time, we have been producing enough food for 4 billion people, and now there's 8 billion people on the planet. There's mass starvation in the world.
There isn't mass starvation. And I'll come back to that. But also the movie set 8 months after the blip. They'd have food sorted out by then, even if it was a problem. The reason why it's not a problem is because currently at the moment, there's about 8 billion people, but we already produce enough food for 12. Because I saw you talking about this in Discord.
Yeah.
And so I looked it up. I'm like, how much food production are we making now? And it turns out it's around 12 billion people's worth of food, but a lot of it is lost in transport and stuff, so you need to overproduce.
Okay, great. So you need to
right.
overproduce, right?
Right. But when you half the population, you're still left with all the infrastructure left to produce more food than you need.
Yeah, but you need people
Right.
to man the infrastructure.
No, but you don't, because we already use less than 1% of the world's population to produce food. So when you half the total population and you still only use 1%, you can make the same amount of food with... you still have more than enough people.
Okay,
Right?
I mean,
and whatever's left of governments, right, can easily just be like, all right, we're going to fill those positions very easily because they know it's a critical requirement,
it is.
right? It's just something that it's like, oh yeah, okay, there's not going to be enough food except for all the food that sits in warehouses and stuff because they have like an expiry date of years, like giving out free Twinkies or something. It's not healthy, but it's food.
But it's calories. Yeah.
Yeah, right. I think it could have been an issue in a more gritty universe, but not really.
Sure. I don't know. I mean, I get that they're not trying to go for gritty. That's not something the MCU's been interested in, but like, I would just prefer they not dabble around in gritty themes if they're not interested in actually addressing them on anything deeper than a super superficial level.
Right.
That's all.
But it was like they dabbled in the gritty theme, and then by the end they'd reset it. Like that's the entire point, is that it's not gritty, but even when something massive happens, like even then
They don't really explore it. Yeah, it's fine. I get it.
Yeah.
I get what they're doing, but just just annoyed me a bit. That's all.
I mean, the amount of corn a single person can produce now with factories, tractors and whatnot, right? Like you could have fed America just on corn. Right, you guys make so much corn.
Yeah,
Nobody would
and
stop.
the federal government pays farmers in America not to grow food, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although it does confirm that there would have been a lot of people who got unsnapped and like been in the air with no plane and just fell to their deaths.
Totally.
Yeah, like I felt bad for the guy playing the trumpet who got hit by a basketball. Like, that looked rough. Like, imagine falling from 30,000 feet.
Yeah, there's a bunch of people that were in planes, or like on a boat, or like in a car. Like there are just a lot of ways this could go.
There's a lot of people
bad.
who would have just been who would have been sitting in their car doing 120 on the highway, who are now just sitting there and are about to be hit by a car.
Yeah, at the very least, they get crazy road rash.
The very least, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's the thing.
That's a thing.
That's the thing. Crap, there was one more thing. What was it about the movie? Nope, lost it. It's gone.
Okay.
All right. Well, good. Anything else you want to cover for the film?
No, I think I'm all right.
Okay, cool.
I think I'm good.
All right. Well, thank you for spending another hour of your day with us as we discuss, TV shows and more TV shows and movies like Spider-Man. Anyway, if you enjoyed it, consider supporting us on the Patreon. Link in the show notes. Also, you can catch us on the merch store. You can get Falcon Paladin and Falcon Paladin Hour stuff there. And until next time, as always, thanks for hanging with us, and you take care of yourself. Man, this is a lot of pressure having a post-credits scene. But, so post-credits, be sure to check out the merch. We've got that, and there is a Patreon page for the podcast. And also, if you're interested in doing the Patreon thing, there are different rewards that you can get, like money off on the merch store. And in other news, I'm going to sneak in a quick sports minute while Samicron's not listening. Women's World Cup, that was great. The U.S. women's team won the whole thing. That's their fourth time in like 20 years, which is amazing because fourth time in 30 years. 30 years, which is amazing because the World Cup's only 4 years. Looked pretty good doing it too. It was close in the last couple of games there, but that's what soccer is all about, just close finishes. They were good. They looked great. And it was good. I mean, they're favored to win the whole thing, so it's not this like crazy underdog story at all. The men's team for the U.S. is not nearly as good or respected, which is unfortunate. And I really do tend to think that's just because largely most of the countries don't really respect women's abilities to play sports. So they don't fund women's soccer in a lot of other countries. They do in some like England, Germany, France, European countries for sure. But a lot of like Africa, South Africa, Asia just aren't as into funding female sports. And that includes soccer. So there's not as much competition, I don't think, for the female soccer World Cup thing. Whereas for the men's, like every country on earth is interested in being competitive for the World Cup. So that's who you're fighting with if you're trying to win a World Cup, is every country on earth, basically. But anyway, still pretty amazing. Winning a World Cup, regardless, is an amazing accomplishment. People worked really hard on it, and go USA. It is always nice to get a major victory on the world stage for the United States, even though, again, not really the underdogs, but that's okay. You take what you get. In other news, the NBA offseason continues to be insane. It continues to have just players moving all over the place. I mean, we had Anthony Davis going to the Lakers. We had Kawhi Leonard going from Toronto, where he just won a title, to the Los Angeles Clippers, which nobody's ever done. Nobody's ever won a title for a team and then just gone elsewhere. They always re-sign. They always stay with their contract. So Kawhi is a weird dude, man, but he just turned the Clippers into a contender, did manage to get Paul George to come with him. Paul George, who had 2 years left on his contract at OKC, who demanded a trade, and OKC was like, all right. And they got a lot for him. They got about 7 draft picks. They got some cash considerations. They got a couple players. I mean, it was a major haul for OKC, and probably something they were okay with. They recognized they weren't going to be able to compete this year or the next year. So, I mean, it was fine with OKC. They didn't have a problem with it at all. But, yeah, so we got this minor super team with Kawhi and Paul George in the Los Angeles Clippers. Los Angeles Lakers have LeBron and AD. The Jazz have a really nice Mike Conley, Donovan Mitchell, Bogdanovich, and Gobert team, which is going to be pretty awesome. I do think the Jazz have a pretty good chance to make it to at least the Western Conference Finals this year, if not make it to the finals. It's that wide open. It's the first time since 2009, I feel like who's going to win the title is that wide open as it is now. So it's nice. I'm really excited for the season. I'm going to watch a lot of games. There's a lot of good teams out there. You got Kyrie for the Nets. You have an injured Kevin Durant in Brooklyn there too with him. Not sure if he's going to be involved at all this season. I don't think he is. The Achilles is a long time to come back from. You got the Warriors kind of lurking there. Obviously Klay's out to probably February, and then Steph's there, but he can't really carry the team all by himself. It never really has been able to. So once Klay and Steph do their thing, then it might be interesting for the playoffs next spring. But until then, it's just going to be a dogfight every night in the NBA. There's not going to be a prohibitive favorite, and it's going to be fantastic.